Matthew Barnaby, 18th all-time in NHL penalty minutes, joining us from the nation's capital. How you doing, Barney?
I'm good. First, I have to apologize. I was supposed to be on a couple weeks ago, and the Wi-Fi did not work where I was at, so I apologize. And just got back from Calgary. Love Western Canada. Part of an Alzheimer's event, and they've raised $47 million. So just want to shout out to them.
Oh, well, congrats for being a part of that, and you know you never got to apologize to me, Barney. Absolutely. Hey, we haven't talked enough about Dallas-Edmonton. Can we start there? Game 3 tonight. What's your thoughts on the Western Conference Final?
Well, I think, you have two powerhouses offensively. I think Dallas is probably a deeper team when you look at them as a whole, probably better goaltending. But I like Edmonton the way this series is shifting. They've proven that they can win some games with low scoring, and they have been better defensively. Listen, they would have taken a split going into Dallas, a team that's played very, very well, especially defensively. I love this going back to Edmonton. I like Edmonton tonight, and hopefully the big guys come to play because it's going to be an electric place in Edmonton, Alberta tonight. I can promise that.
Well, Barney, I said I didn't watch Game 2 because I was getting set up to broadcast baseball here in Moose Jaw, but I did watch Game 1, and it's typical. McDavid did it all. I mean, he also took that double-minded to start overtime, but he scores the winner. If it's not McDavid, they don't win, man. That has not changed. Changed my mind.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I mean, Zach Hyman has been incredible for this team, regular season, postseason. They need more guys to step up to the plate if they are going to beat Dallas. Dallas, like I said, you never know who is going to score for that team. And Pavelski's been eerily quiet throughout the whole playoffs, and they've still done what they have done. The thing is, Dallas can win 2-1, 3-2, 3-1 on a nightly basis. Can Edmonton do it over the long period of time? And can someone else step up? I just think home ice, when you get to this part, they're going to be so pumped up to be back home. And the big thing for Edmonton is first 10 minutes, first period, don't take too many chances. Don't get pumped up by the crowd so much that you forget how to play defensively. Because Dallas is a little reminiscent, and I don't want to bring it back to the 90s, but New Jersey, they wait for you to make plays through the neutral zone. They are very good off transition. They can make you pay awfully quickly, and the game can be over because they can shut it down. So Edmonton, listen, I'll bet on McDavid more days than not. But if they are going to win this series, they are going to have more guys step up and be that X factor.
When you say Jersey, are you talking Peter DeBoer Devils or Jacques Lemaire Devils?
No. Jacques Lemaire Devils. There's only one Devils for my era. It was crazy. You'd play them, and they'd lull you into just the ultimate boredom, having you dump pucks in, or then they'd have Scott Niedermayer, Scott Stevens, Marty Brodeur would play it off to the side. They were on a counterattack. Then you get so bored of not being able to get a forecheck that you come through the neutral zone, and then you had Peter Sikor and a plethora of guys being able to make them pay. So they're very reminiscent of that kind of team, very, very deep and good defensively.
By the way, I see what you did there with Game Plus over your shoulder in your rumpus room, as we call it here in the West, so thank you for that. So, listen, you talk about home ice. Emotion for sure. But you do these interviews like I do these interviews in the States, and they bring up the matchups and the home ice. I'm like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. When I see Rempe chasing Tkachuk after the whistle, it doesn't matter what the matchup was. It's an intimidation factor there. How are you on that last change, or where are you on that? Because you're getting asked that as much as I am.
Yeah, and I'll go further to your point because I was listening to you before I came on, and yeah, you're right. Like having a guy like Rempe in the lineup is massive. Now, I would try to use it against them. Being a guy like Tkachuk, the way that I played. Now, I'm not comparing myself to Matthew Tkachuk and a 100-point guy, but being an antagonizer, being a guy to draw people into penalties or into scrums. This is where I would use it. Matt Rempe can't go grab him. He can't beat him up. It's not the wild, wild west when I played. So use it to your advantage. Now, can he go be physical on your defenseman? Because we did that sometimes too. If you don't quiet down, I'm not going after your tough guy. I'm going to go after your top scorer, your small guy, and make him pay the price. And that's where the intimidation factor that you talked about with a guy like Matt Rempe can have serious implications on the forecheck and just being that bigger than life presence, almost like Zdeno Chara. You can't replicate what he has. He's the only guy in the NHL right now that's playing in the playoffs that has that intimidation factor. If I'm Tkachuk, though, I'm going after him, trying to suck him into a penalty every single time because he can't grab you. He can't fight you. You don't want to be fighting him, but you want to use his best quality and turn it against him and get him over aggressive so he takes the penalty. Your team's on the power play, and that's how you win.
And that's normally what Tkachuk does. I just think yesterday he was just so surprised that Rempe was coming after him. He didn't really know what to do because most guys don't actually do that. But I wonder if people are paying attention to what's happening in this series. It's the fourth line for the Rangers that's doing the scoring and winning games because everybody talks about the top lineup. It's down here that's getting it done, man. That's not common.
No, and that's not good for Florida because I picked Florida. I picked Dallas to win before these rounds started. It can go either way. Like I said, I like Edmonton now that it's switched back to Edmonton, but don't over-exaggerate what home ice is. I love playing on the road. A lot of guys love playing on the road. You love playing in front of your own fans, obviously, but let's not overblow it to being, oh, they're going to win because now they have home ice advantage. No. This is one game. We know it's a one-goal league. And when you talk about New York, look at Shesterkin, man. That guy is so good. And he doesn't let in 3-4 goals on a nightly basis. So you got to find a way. And if your fourth line is scoring, your lower bottom half, they're too talented offensively once that power play does get going to not think that they're going to win this series now. Like I said, I picked Florida, but New York looks very, very tough after what we've seen.
Well, you talk about Shesterkin. Bob never has back-to-back bad games. And I'm not saying it was necessarily a bad game in Game 3, but he did allow 5 goals. That doesn't happen again. So it doesn't usually happen again. What do you see happening in Game 4 there?
Yeah, it's not the Columbus Bob at times that we saw. This has been a different guy, and we've seen in the playoffs how good he's been. He can steal a game. And I truly believe, Bob, if they're going to win the series now, because of everything that we've talked about, he's going to have to steal a game. And usually that goes for any series. You need a goalie because you're not going to play 7 great games or 6 great games in a series. You're going to have your ebbs, your flows, your ups, and your downs, and you need your goalie to come through. I play with the best that ever played in Dominic Hasek. And in the playoffs, we knew he was going to steal us a game. We knew that there was a game that we were going to get outplayed or outshot 30-18 or 30-20 or 40, whatever it is. And your goalie has to steal you a game. If Florida's going to win, Bob is going to have to. And you've been right. You don't play well every single game. But he isn't bad, or he's not giving up 5 goals in back-to-back games. I can promise you that.
All right, everybody. I could talk with him for hours. We're out of time. But give him a follow, Matt Barnaby, 3636, and say hey to your lovely gal. We make him better than anywhere else in Saskatchewan, Barney. You know that. So enjoy the summer, and hopefully we can do it again soon.
Saskatchewan, baby. Saskatchewan.
How about that?
All the best. All the best. Thanks, Barney. Matthew Barnaby joining us from the nation's capital, talking some Stanley Cup playoffs.